in a way we can understand.
Sticks and stones can break your bones, but names can never hurt you. Is that true? Don't think so. Welcome to another episode of Total Mind Fitness, my personal vlog where I talk about different subjects and matters and methods and ideas that are associated with having total mind fitness. That can be nutrition, it can be psychology, it can be behavior, it can be fitness, physical fitness. The idea is to have a comprehensive and holistic look at total mind fitness. But I want to talk about something else today that's a little bit off task because it's something that's very important to my heart. A lot of Total Mind Fitness talks about the internal thoughts, feelings and sensations that bully us from place to place, bringing us from the past and bullying us into the future, taking us from the future and bullying us into the past, and very little time for present moment. But there is a very, very different kind of bullying, and that bullying is external physical bullying. And that bullying can take place in the workplace, it can take place between spouses and in families, and it can indeed take place in schools. And it's about the schools that I'd like to talk about, because research is finding that 1 in 3 pupils at schools are bullied, and this is horrific. This is epidemic levels, and we must try and do something about this. And being mindful of what's going on is extremely important, but doing something is even more important. And so what can we do? Well, what I'd like to suggest is that there is a number of things that we can do, both regarding the teachers, regarding the schools in general, and as parents or guardians to our children and the people that we are responsible. There is a duty of care here. There's a duty of care for the school, there's a duty of care for the teacher, there's a duty of care for the parent. And this is extremely important at this time of the year when children are now going back to school after the spring holidays. And there might be a situation where a child is not wanting to go back to school. And you might be thinking, well, it's exams coming up or whatever is happening, and shove them back into the classroom. But a classroom is supposed to be a place of safety, a place of nourishment, a place of learning, and not a place of suffering. And this is what 1 in 3 pupils are going through. They're going to school and they're suffering. And basically what's happening is their emergency fight and flight system is constantly on the go. And when that is constantly on the go, that means that they are getting exhausted physically as well as emotionally. And if there's no outlet for that, if there's no help and support there for them, this is just going to become worse and worse and get into a chronic situation. And when that chronic situation happens, their body is going to start to break down. They're going to start to get digestive problems and that famous tummy ache. But that's not a fake tummy ache. That could be a very real tummy ache. And their biological systems are going to start to shut down. Their immune systems are going to start getting colds and flu and other such horrible things that are going to start happening to them. And then there's a good possibility that their whole rebuilding system will start to shut down. And that means that after they've had some sort of illness, their recovery period is going to be much longer, and things can just, slippery slope and get worse and worse from there. So it's very, very important that we take this thing of bullying very, very seriously, because it can have long-term, lifelong-term effects on our children, even when they grow into adults. Now, there's another aspect that we have to think about as well, is that if there is no outlet and no support for these people who are being bullied, then they're going to begin to have some sort of self-medication thing going on, which means that they might be turning to drugs, they might be turning to alcohol, they might even turn to gangs, they might even turn to violence. all in the effort of trying to find some sort of social support system, and a system that will die down those horrible feelings that they're getting when somebody is bullied. So I ask you, watch this film that I'm going to show you now, and then we'll kind of talk about a couple of solutions that maybe we can do in order to lower the risk of bullying, or if there's bullying going on, actually tackle it. Now this film was put out on YouTube. I just came across it and I thought it was so important and so powerful that I have to show you it. And it's put out by the company Burger King, because they've taken on board this combating of bullying in the schools. And you'll see it's absolutely horrific how people can be more concerned about a bashed burger than a bashed human being. So have a look at this and we'll talk about it when we get back.
Scrawny, chubby, short,
queer.
Getting caught up in bullying, it's so easy because you're just glad that you're not being bullied.
It's been hard for me to stand up for other people because I feel like I'm already a target.
It's just easier to do nothing.
Please stop.
Fine.
Dude, ow.
Fine.
Stop.
Fine.
Ow, stop.
Do you have any friends?
Yes, I heard you.
What are you even doing here? It's almost too easy.
Stop.
Come on.
I get it.
Maybe you are a little bit.
Oh. You think you're special?
One Whopper Junior meal.
Dude, stop.
You're fine.
I just opened it up and it's all smashed.
Did you order bullied or unbullied?
Bullied or unbullied?
Yeah.
Do you have a manager that I can speak to? Because that doesn't even make any sense. Hi, your
Hi,
manager?
how's it going?
I was given this.
Did you bully this burger?
Well, yeah. This is a defenseless Whopper Junior. He can't defend himself.
I don't mean anything by it.
It's just for laughs.
Just for laughs.
Just give me my burger, man. What is going on here?
What are you? Is there something wrong with you?
Because that's clearly what happened.
Can't be serious.
Had you seen me bullying this burger, would you have stood up and said something?
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. What's your name?
Reed.
Hi, Reese.
We're just having fun.
You having fun? He's not having fun. So therefore, I think you guys should just leave him alone.
See you later. This feels better to me.
Have you ever been like messed with before?
Oh my God. This is like the ideal world is where if somebody else sees like something weird happening that they'll come over and be like, hey, this is not okay.
Yeah.
To feel defenseless, that's one of the worst things in the world.
Chelsea came and she would just tell them that it's not okay because it isn't.
Something I'll never forget is my friend standing up for me.
I've been that kid, so if I see it, I'm gonna do something about it. And I hope there's more people out there like that.
Welcome back. So wasn't that horrific to see? I mean, 1 in 3 are getting bullied and only 4% of the teachers are intervening. So what's going on? Well, let's have a look at it a little bit closer. If we look at the ones that intervened with their burger being all bashed up, well, in a way we can understand them. Because they bought the burger, they paid good money for it, they're looking forward to eating it, they open the box up, and it's all smashed up. So they have an emotional attachment to it. They were looking forward to enjoying it. They now probably have emotions of anger and disappointment, and that motivates them to intervene and to complain at the desk in the restaurant. That is understandable. What is not understandable is why, when human heads are involved, then they don't intervene. And that must be because they don't have that emotional attachment, that feeling of responsibility, that emotional motivation when somebody else is in danger. And this is a worrying situation, because we all should and have a duty of care towards each other. This is what community is about. This is what society is about. And a healthy, functioning society, each cares for the other. And so we have to translate this into our school communities and ask ourselves, is the correct duty of care being carried out in the school community? I mean, there's a lot of care being taken about what they have to learn and having their homework in time and making sure their writing is neat and tidy. But what duty of care is between one pupil and another, and making sure that the school is a safe, nourishing and educational environment. And so the first thing we have as duty of care as parents and guardians is to ask that question of our schools. What is the bullying policy? And I'm not talking about the statutory legal requirement, although that is extremely important. I'm talking about their moral obligation to make sure that the school is a safe and nourishing place. What is the policy? We must demand to see it. And if it's not there, we must demand that it is written and put into place. The next population that we should address are the staff and teachers. Maybe they're only intervening on a 4% basis because they don't have the correct training and the correct tools in order to do that. And so we must make sure that we support them in getting this. And if you're a staff member or teacher yourself, you must go forward and demand that you have the correct training and the tools in order to deal with this in your schools. Denying this and being avoidant of it will only contribute to a chronic situation later on in your school and later on in life for those young people. As parents, we also have an extremely important duty of care to be able to offer support to our children, to be able to teach them how to be resilient and how to deal with all this emotions and stress that go together with being bullied. We need to be able to do that for them. And we can possibly also put our children through training, resilience training, self-confidence training, in order to be able to manage those emotions, manage that stress that goes with bullying, being able to build up the self-esteem and self-confidence in order to tackle the bullying, in order to recover from it. All these aspects are extremely important when it comes to bullying. It's not something that can be ignored and put off on a long-term basis, because we're talking about possibilities and high risk of depression, anxiety, PTSD, possible other complications such as drug abuse, alcohol abuse, joining gangs, antisocial behavior, and other very, very detrimental behaviors that will not only be non-serving for them in a functional basis while they're at school, but certainly if they go on to further education and to go on into adulthood, this will be long-term detrimental chronic situations for them. But if we do intervene, and we intervene now and on time, we can turn this around and you can recover definitely, from bullying, and you can take those skills and emotional management tools and take them on to further education and into the general workplace, in the marketplace, where there is no doubt that bullying goes on there as well. So in this short clip, I hope it has been useful for you. This is a time between spring and summer, which is a very high stressful term at schools. There's a lot of exams that are coming up. There's the end of the year, which means there's going to be a new year and the stress of what's going to be happening in the future, whether they're leaving school or whether they're going and changing years. So it's very important to be able to cope with this ourselves and to be able to give the correct support to our young ones. If this has been useful to you, then please like it and share on for somebody else, bringing the awareness of this extremely important situation that's going on in our schools, and to be aware that something can be done. Thank you for watching.